Hello. Hi, everyone. It's been like 5 days. It's kind of crazy. But hello. Hello, everyone. Hello, Star. Welcome in. Hello, everyone else who's joining us. I know, like, it's been years. I know. I struggle the most. I struggle the most, but hello everyone. I hope you're having a lovely night. I hope you're ready for our chat tonight. Right now we're just, whoops, hang on. We are just doing a little chit chat right now. So if you, we'll just catch up with everyone and we'll just talk about stuff. How has your week been, Sal? You sound different at this point. I got to warm my voice up a little bit before starting stream. I usually don't get to do that, but I was practicing for tomorrow night, you know, because we're doing karaoke tomorrow night, which that'll be fun. It will definitely be fun to do a little bit of singing. I haven't done singing in a long time, and I really need to do it again. When was the last time I sang? I think I sang at what is it? It was my birthday. That's right. It was during the musical that I was doing. This week has been way too fast, really. For me, it's just drug on. Just, oh my gosh, I feel completely drained. Oh my goodness. Basically, I guess I'll talk a little bit. Basically, Chero, my brother, came into town, and I got 2 days off of work. But then the second I got back to work, oh my gosh. I'll totally admit, Wednesday when I got back to work, I crashed out. I actually crashed out at work in front of a bunch of new people, and I don't care. It was a valid crash out. I was so just like, oh my gosh. But I wish this week would go by fast. Actually, this Sunday I get to eat a bunch of bad food, so I'll be a happy angel then. I'll be a very happy angel then. Whew. But I think I'll save a lot of the small talk for tomorrow. That way, because tomorrow's gonna be a lot more cheery. It's gonna be a lot more fun, and hopefully I won't be so tired. But yeah, it's nice. I don't know, but how have you guys been? I hope your week has gone well. I hope you guys have been taking care of yourselves and everything. How was the movie last week? I'm gonna be honest. One, that's like one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. Bubble is a fantastic movie. Everyone should watch it. However, the turnout, basically, we had 2 people show up, and basically before the movie ended, everyone left. Now, I blame myself a little bit. I will blame myself because I think we had like 40 minutes left in the movie. But basically what ended up happening was I just turned off the stream. I turned off the stream and just watched the rest by myself. No, I was there in spirit. Oh, I guess that's true. But I blame myself because I think the gaming and then the movie was a bit much for people. I think it was a lot for people, so I'm not too upsetty spaghetti. But yeah, it was also, I don't know, apparently people don't get the notifications for the polls, so I don't know, I gotta figure that out. But I have a new fun thing we can do for community night this Sunday. It's not going to be rift fishing. It's not going to be movie night. I have a much more fun idea that I think you guys will enjoy. At least you enjoyed the movie. I did. Will it be stream or disc? It will be a stream, so don't worry. Do not worry. It will not be a Discord only. But yeah, it's a no. Also, there's a track from that Bubble song. It's called Parkour. That is a fantastic song. That is an absolutely wonderful song. And I've been listening to it. Also, I think I'm very close to completing my old Nightcore playlist. Like when I was a kid, I had a Nightcore playlist, and I had a lot of Nightcore songs on it. And I think I'm very close. I may be missing like a song or two, but I think I have like all the major songs like I listen to like on loop like constantly. I don't know. I really like Nightcore. Oh my gosh, stop after that talk on Nightcore. It's been appearing on my TikTok. I haven't been getting it on my TikTok, and I might be getting it now because people are really liking the Nightcore short, particularly on Instagram. A lot of people like it on Instagram. Actually, the weird thing is about that, it got copyright claim by YouTube. However, they did not. However, the song they said I was like using was absolutely not the right song, and so I disputed it. So hopefully I get some good news. I'm like, hey, this isn't even the song. Like, it's not even close to the song. It's all right. I'm just blocked in Russia, which is fine, I guess. But it's like those Russians like their Euro beats. They like their. I guess they like their stuff a little more slow paced. But okay. Oh gosh, Sero hit his mic. Sorry. But okay. I think we should probably get into the topic. I'm gonna be real. I like said to someone, I forget where, but someone was like, "Oh yikes, self-hatred. That's a pretty dark topic." And I was like, "Oh, I usually try and be uplifting." I've decided that the more I did research into this, the more and the more I worked on it, the more I kind of realized like, oh, this is not going to be very fun or happy for people. And instead, so this is going to be healing. This is going to be very healing, because I think self-hatred is such a complicated topic that I have talked about. Oh, welcome in, Moham. Miss me, Sarah? I did miss you, and I'm very happy you're here. We were just about to get started in the deep talk. So, let's start with... Oh, whoopsies. What is self-hatred? Now I know, kind of a silly question, but we always need to start at our beginnings. Oh, here, let me see. It's a very hard thing to talk about, but sometimes the hardest things to talk about are the most important. It is very important to talk about these things. But yes, what is self-hatred? Well, self-hatred is just kind of the loathing of yourself. It is the thoughts that run through your head of particularly like feelings of uselessness, or being a burden, or just hating the choices you've made in life, or thinking you're just a bad person. I struggle with this like a lot, like a lot. Uh, I have, I don't know, I've got a lot of issues with that for myself. So this is a very important topic for me to kind of talk about, and really deep dive into for myself. I've been very fascinated with this topic, and I've been constantly thinking about it. But what's very interesting is where it starts, because a lot of people think like, oh, it's trauma, right? Trauma is where self-hatred comes from. And that's not true from my research. And keep in mind, not a therapist, not a psychologist, just a guy who thinks he's got good opinions. But what's interesting is trauma, what it does is it tills the ground. It gets the ground ready for self-hatred. Here, sorry. It gets the ground ready for the seed of self-hatred to be planted. And the interesting thing is, the person that plants that seed of hatred into, your trauma ground is you. And this is something that's very interesting. And I'll go over like kind of where I came up with this from. But the person who typically plants the seed of the self-hatred, of the disgust with oneself, is usually the person. This is something that makes self-hatred such a tough subject to talk about, because you are, with self-hatred in particular, keep in mind we're talking about this in self-hatred. This is not an in general thing. With self-hatred, with stuff like this, you are the victim and you are the perpetrator. So it makes it really hard to talk about, because it is a person who is in pain, but it is a person who's causing their own pain. And what I've come to the conclusion about, and this is the thing, this is kind of where I was kind of thinking about how I wanted to approach this. I'm gonna be very heavy-handed about this. I'm not gonna be my usual oh no, it's okay, baby, you're gonna be fine, everything's all right. And we're kind of gonna have to lay the law down here. And the reason why is because self-hatred is one of the most destructive, awful things that the human psyche can do to itself. And I've come to the decision that it's not something to be taken with any kind of levity. It's not something to comfort a person on either, which is interesting. But let's get back on track. Where does it start? Self-hatred starts when you do something. When you do something and come to regret it. And the reason why I said trauma is is the tilling of the ground. It gets the ground ready so your seed of hatred, self-hatred, can grow. Is usually the trauma will bring you to act out. You will go and do something, out of impulse, out of frustration, out of just the deep desire to the deep desire to relieve yourself, or maybe get back at someone, or get some pent up emotion out, and you end up doing something that later on you come to deeply regret, and you start to really beat yourself up about it. You really start to just despise yourself for doing that. And this leads down a really dark rabbit hole of just self-destruction, of just total denial of you or self as a person. You like I said, we're talking about self-hatred. You end up just completely hating yourself, to the point where, from what I've seen, like, people won't even look at themselves in the mirror. They just think they're so, horrible and disgusting. When you think someone is horrible and awful, you think everything about them is disgusting. And the problem with that is it is harming yourself. You're effectively traumatizing yourself. You become your own abuser. And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but the start of it is when you try and lash out for your own protection, for your own sake. And so it's not even necessarily an evil action. And that's something very important we're going to get into. I'm going to talk about a couple of properties that I was reading in order to learn about self-hatred, because I like to do a lot of reading depressing books. I really like reading depressing books, and we are going to be referencing a couple of we'll be referencing a couple of things, like a couple of literary works that I was reading, where I really think work. We'll be I'll bring these up on screen right now. We are going to be using the literary works No Longer Human. We'll be using Goodnight Poon Poon as well. These are all Japanese for some reason. I don't know why. The Japanese are really great at very great at capturing horrible hatred of themselves. And Blood on the Tracks. These are 3 extremely horrible, depressing books that unless you're like someone who really likes psychology like myself, don't read. Don't read. That's where we'll stop for our introduction. So these are the literary works I read, just so we, have a starting point where I'm getting these ideas, and where we'll start at. But I'll turn it over to you guys. It's question time. If you guys have any questions or something you'd like to say to me, please let me know. All right, let's see. Oh, Twigball. Oh my gosh, Twigball. Is this like the first stream you've caught me in? Oh boy. Well, I hope. Sorry, I know this is a little different, but I am a mental health VTuber. So we got to talk about serious stuff here sometimes. But hi, Twigball. TBH, you don't even have to do anything to suddenly hate yourself. Like, you could live your normal life and still hold hatred towards yourself. Also, hi Sarah, I think this is my first time catching your stream. Oh my gosh. Well, welcome. This is a pretty heavy one that you're starting off with, Twigwell, but I'm very happy to see you. I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're doing well. Let's see. By the way, I learned a whole lot about VTubers. Sorry, a little off topic. Oh no, that's all right, Mohammed. It doesn't. Tomorrow, if you can show up tomorrow, I would love to talk VTubers with you. Let's see. My stream is lagging a couple seconds, so I close my eyes and almost had a hard. Oh, here. Okay. Let's see. I read a total of 7 books in my life. Well, you're not that old, so. But maybe read a few more. Let's see. Sometimes it's hard because when you look at yourself in such a negative way, you lower the standards of how you think you should be treated. That's very important. We will be going over something like that, Star. But yes, we are going to be talking about like all things like that. These are more these 3 books they each deal with self-hatred in very different ways, and like kind of the routes you go down, and when you kind of get into the spiral of it. The main thing for me is the main thing for me is I want to make this like very clear to everyone. Self-hatred is dangerous, not just for yourself. This is something I really want to hammer into people, is hating yourself. If you feel like you hate yourself, if you are looking in the mirror and you're disgusted and ashamed of yourself, you are doing something bad. And I know that sounds harsh, that sounds rough, that sounds like really like not cool to say, but like straight up, I'ma just let you all know, like, and this is where it becomes complicated, because like I said, you in self-hatred, you are all at once, you are the victim and the perpetrator. So it's a very kind of strange balancing act. And just keep in mind, I don't have no compassion for people with self-hatred. I'm someone who suffers with self-hatred myself. But I just want you to know that this is not acceptable behavior. Because I used to think it was acceptable behavior. It's like, we'll get into it, but I used to think that what I was doing was something I thought I was doing the normal right thing, when in reality I was being awful. But before we continue on, I do want to talk a little bit about the books that I used for all of these, so we can talk about it. So we can talk about it, and you guys are a little more familiar with some of these. Oh, here, let me grab this. This is so interesting, as someone who has been in therapy for almost a majority of my life. Well, hey, I've also been to therapy, Twigball. I've actually cleared therapy. And I don't know, I find mental health extremely fascinating, and I definitely really want to help people. And I think I have something to give people. So, I'm glad you find it interesting. I hope you stick around. If things get too intense for any of you, it is okay to, take a pause and maybe come back when you're ready. But yeah, let's talk about these 3 works here, just in general. We'll get into more detail about them as we go on. But No Longer Human is about a man who actually very fascinating. No Longer Human is kind of a English, like it's an Americanized version of what the book is called. It is the book's original title in Japanese translates to no longer capable of being called a human, or excluded from the human race. And it is about a man named Yozo Oda, who he comes from a wealthy family, and he gets he has this upbringing, and he does have trauma. Bad things do happen to him. However, his self-hatred leads him down these very awful paths. And as you read about him, you slowly, as the reader, you just start to hate him. You start to see him. At first, you're kind of like, oh, this sounds like he's being a little rough on himself. But then, like, as the story keeps going and keeps going, you just realize, like, this character is a monster. And we'll keep it there for no longer human. But all of his issues, all the things he does, is directly tied into his hatred of himself, of his loathing for who he is. And like I said, we'll go into a little more details about this. Goodnight Poon Poon. So I want to preface this. He looks silly. This is one of the most depressing things you will ever see in your entire life, ever read in your entire life. Goodnight Poon Poon. This is the main character. This is Poon Poon. And it is the story about a little boy who has a rough childhood, and he grows up and he becomes a monster. I think that's like the best way to describe the story. He is a normal little boy, and the story shifts over and you realize, like, oh, this guy is this little Poon Poon becomes a horrific monster, you kind of lament what has happened to him. And then we have Blood on the Tracks. This one is more horror than super psychological, but it is about a little boy whose mother is obsessed with him, like obsessed with him. And essentially she psychologically abuses him to the point where he is a broken shell by the midpoint of the book. He is a completely just broken human being. And it's such an interesting read because you simultaneously hate the mother, but you also hate him, even though it's hard to blame him. The book does a very good job of making you be like, this person is evil. Like, this person is a bad person in his own right, even though he's a child, which is so fascinating. But these are the literary works I read to kind of get myself more acquainted with self-hatred. I also was thinking about putting in a picture of Dorian Gray, but I don't think that works as well. I don't think this one works as well, but let's see. Even the title says so much, because that's what self-hatred can do to you. Yes, self-hatred can absolutely just wreck your mind. Yeah, you feel disgusting, so disgusting that you don't even feel human. Yes, I have definitely been there. I have definitely had my nights of feeling like a creature. I actually wrote a poem. Maybe I'll post it one day. But I don't know. It's a rough read. It's actually a very, very rough read. I have art and stuff that I did in therapy. I did like art and I did like poems, and they're all pretty depressing. So, but yeah. We won't linger too long on these topics. Like I said, these are just frames of where we're gonna go down. So let's start with our dumb question that I always ask every episode of Deep Talk is why is this bad? Why is this bad? Now, as I'm sure you all can understand why this is bad. However, there's many layers to why this is bad. And there are so many layers because, like I said, you are all at once. You are a victim and you are the victimizer. And so at the top of this topic, I want to start with a saying I wrote down when I was thinking about this. Like, how can I really drive home that self-hatred is an evil action? Even if it is an action taken against yourself, because I think we have this idea of, oh, well, you're doing it to yourself, so it's kind of a neutral thing. I disagree. I heavily disagree with that. I was trying to think why don't I agree with that? And I came to this. I wrote this down. I said, hate is always a decision. Hate is always a decision. And I think that's one of those. I think you can take that one universally. I know I'm trying to make sure that you all know I'm talking within the frame of self-hatred, and I'm not just saying like in general stuff here, but that one you can take in generally. When you hate something or when you hate someone, it's always a choice. There's always that choice and I understand sometimes it doesn't feel that way. A lot of times it doesn't feel that way, especially when we're like reacting to some like knee-jerk reaction. But we talked about that before of self-control and stuff. And so self-hatred, hatred in general, it is just the choice to dislike someone, the choice to inflict psychic pain on that person through your own brain. And so I want that to kind of cap this part is it's always a decision. It's always a decision to hate, no matter who it's against. But let's get back to it. Why is it bad? Why is hating myself bad? I'm hating myself, you know? It's not that bad, is it, to hate oneself? I think it is. I think it is one of the most awful things a person can do to themselves. And the reason why is we will take Goodnight Poon Poon as our first example here. So I want everyone to kind of understand this. This is like the thing that like kind of gets my heart racing when I think about this. Let me show you something. This right here, this is Poon Poon. He is the main character of the manga. He is a little bird man. Now, I want to preference this. He is a normal little boy in the story. However, we, the audience, see him as this little bird man with a ghost sheet over his head. That's just for us, the audience. The rest of the characters in the universe, he is just a normal little boy, and all of his family members look like that too. It's used to lighten the blows of how messed up his life is, how sad his life is, because, oh, you see the little bird boy, and his dad just threw a bottle at his mom. And it's all cartoony and cute, and his dad's getting dragged away by the police, like, oh, but it softens the impact. It really does soften the impact, where you can kind of clearly see what Poon Poon's going through. Now, this is Poon Poon as a child. We see him as a little bird boy, but let me show you how the author depicts him when he is an adult. This is Poon Poon as an adult. A bit more menacing. A bit more scary looking, huh? Why does he look like that? And here's where I want to make a very interesting observation. This is a literary observation. I want to keep in mind. Poon at the end of his story is a monster. He looks like this because he is this. He is a horrific monster. However, in No Longer Human, Yozo, it's hard to call him a monster. These two characters go down very similar paths. But what's interesting is the world around them. You see, at the end of No Longer Human, after you have been thoroughly marinating in Yozo's own self-hatred, in his very own disgust for himself, something very interesting happens. This is No Longer Human, keep in mind. Something very interesting happens at the end of No Longer Human. We stop listening to Yozo, and we get to listen to someone who knows him. And the thing that someone else says about him is, and this is how the book ends, by the way, these are literally the last lines of the book, is, he was an angel. And let me tell you, that like knocked me off my feet. I think I had to sit down at the end of that story, because I sat there and I was like, huh? What? Yozo? The man who should no longer be considered a human? He was an angel? Huh? And that's what got my brain turning, because immediately after it, I read the entire book again. So this is my third time reading No Longer Human. And this is what we realize is everything Yozo told us about himself, about how he is a monster, how he is disgusting, and he does do bad things. Don't keep this in mind. He does do bad things. Yozo, we never ever get to hear from another person's perspective what Yozo is like. We only get to hear him and him alone for most of the book. But the second someone else starts talking about him, they have nothing but wonderful things to say about him. And so that's what, and this contrasts extremely heavily with Poon from Goodnight Poon, because Poon, people try to kill this guy. Poon, like, deservedly so. Like, he gets almost killed multiple times in the book, and you're like, yes, 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 get him. And that's so important about, and that teaches us a very important lesson about self-hatred and why it's such a touchy subject. And so let's bring this back around to the main topic of why this is bad. We see this is bad because Yozo hates himself. And he eventually goes insane, and essentially he crumbles. He crumbles under the weight of his own despair. And he literally can't function as a person anymore. He needs someone to take care of him 24/7. That's how the book ends. But we realize that maybe a lot of the things Yozo did is in his head. There's a very interesting part where he talks about a time where he cared for his friend who was sick. Like, he gave him medicine and he laid him on his lap and cleaned out his ears. A very tender and almost just a very beautiful scene of tenderness and caring and just love, just this very deep love Yozo has for his friend. But Yozo interprets this as him being like a lizard person. He literally takes this moment where him and his friend get caught in the rain and his friend gets sick, and he takes care of him as him being this monster of him, like, oh, I'm appeasing him so he never suspects that I'm actually a disgusting human being that actually hates him to his very core. Oh, but all his friend can say to him is, the ladies are gonna love you because you're so caring. And it's so, it makes you laugh almost how fun, it's almost a comedy if it weren't so sad, right? How this guy, and Yozo is also heavily based on the author. I believe the author based a lot of this novel on his own experiences. It's so interesting that this very kind and compassionate person basically completely rejects his own goodness. He tells him, he almost rewrites what actually happened in his mind to accommodate this belief. You know, how a lot of people work is we start with a belief and then we work towards trying to find ways to justify those beliefs. Yozo's belief is he is a monster. He is a disgusting reptilian human being. He is Machiavellian. He only does things if it benefits him, and he is a disgusting disgrace of a human being. And that is probably the biggest tragedy of it. The biggest tragedy of all of this is this is as sad as it can get for a person with self-hatred, is they negate their own loveliness. They forget the things that make them good. Because Yozo is talked about. He's very handsome. Everyone says he's extremely funny. He always seemed to care and notice small things about people. This is all when other people talk about him, but to him he's conniving. He's literally the mud on the bottom of your shoe. And like I said, keep in mind, Yozo does do bad things, but those bad things that he actually does feed into the shame that he feels, feeds into the shame and the despair that he feels for himself, that the loathing he has for himself. And it just keeps repeating this cycle over and over again. And Yozo finds himself in these bad situations because he hates himself. He runs away from a loving house. He runs away. He gets a wife who has a daughter. So he has a stepdaughter, and he adopts this woman. He adopts the little girl. He legally marries the woman. And I won't say what happens because it's pretty messed up. But essentially, he is witness to his wife having something really horrible done to her. And instead of confronting what happened, instead of talking to her about it, instead of trying to comfort her, he automatically assumes he is such a horrible person for having it happen to her in the first place that he just runs away. He just runs off. Because he's like, I am so filthy and disgusting. I am the most disgusting and filthy I've ever been in my entire life. They can smell it on me. They can see it on me. They hate me. They hate me. They hate me. And he leaves. And you're like, what? What do you mean you left? You were happy. You had everything, man. Everything was going well for you. And he just left out of the blue. And it is this hatred for himself that drives him towards every decision. And the thing is like, once again, we're at that crossroad of, do I feel bad for you? Or do I hate your guts? You know? What do I do with you? You know? Why? But that's enough for No Longer Human. Another thing I want to go over is Poon Poon. Because Poon Poon, like I said, he goes a similar but different direction. Poon Poon at the end of the story is objectively a horrible person. He is a monster. He is a terrible, terrible person that deserves every horrible thing that happens to him. However, the problem with Poon Poon is his self-hatred. It is his loathing and his hatred of himself. And because he has this, just like Yozo, he lets his self-hatred make his decisions for him. But Poon Poon is a lot more horrifying. And this is the most dangerous part about self-hatred that I cannot stand. This is why I'm very hard on people who hate themselves. It is Poon Poon thinks he is allowed to do things because he is sad. He is one of these people who he believes that he is such a victim, that he is in constant torment and constant turmoil and constant pain because of his own feelings, that he gets to do whatever he wants. He gets to hurt whoever he wants. He gets to be in a cycle of abuse. He gets to treat people horribly. He gets to use people however he wants because he hates himself. He wants to feel, no, you don't understand. He wants to feel better. Oh, don't I deserve to feel good for once? Oh, why can't I just not hate myself for just 1 second? Why are you ruining this for me? And like, no, I deserve this. I deserve to have this. I should be allowed to have this because, well, I hate myself. Poon Poon is a very classic example of narcissism. He is a classic example of a vulnerable narcissist, of a person who, and I know a lot of people are like, a narcissist? What do you mean he's a narcissist? You see, Poon Poon is a narcissist because a vulnerable narcissist is kind of like the opposite. Where a narcissist, we have this idea of someone who thinks they're great and they're better than everyone else and they're better than you or me and they're above everyone else and everyone else is beneath them. However, there's a type of narcissist called a vulnerable narcissist where, well, once again, we start with a belief, right? Everyone starts with a belief and then we try to justify that belief to ourselves. And what a vulnerable narcissist believes is they don't believe they are the best person who's ever lived. They are the most victimized person who's ever lived. They are the person, everyone around them, a narcissist, they want everyone around them to love and adore them and look up to them and think they're amazing. And the vulnerable narcissist wants everyone to feel bad for them, to pity them. Their only goal in life is to make other people feel awful for them. They want someone to be like, oh, poor baby. Oh, you poor thing. Let me let you do whatever you want. That's pretty much what it is, and that's what Poon Poon becomes. He becomes a vulnerable narcissist. He becomes a person who tells himself that I deserve anything I want because I am so victimized. And that's for me, that's why I really try to be hard on self-hatred, because it really, really is hard. It can lead down so many bad paths. It just leads you to make bad decisions. It leads you to make horrible, awful decisions that you can't stand yourself from looking at. And like I said, it feeds into itself, right? Oh, now you've done more bad things. Oh, now you're even more evil. Oh, you become a very scary person, don't you? Because essentially at any time you have just added to your pile of destruction. Let's take a pause. Let's take a pause. I feel like I've been talking for a pretty long time. Let me turn it over to you guys really quick, and then I'll keep talking. I'm not super like in a format yet, but I do have a lot more things to say. This might be a longer one, but who knows? Let's see. Still here? Good to hear him, Mohim. Let's see. You tend to make it's hard to get help from even yourself or other people because you don't think you deserve help. Yes, that is also true. That is also true. You tell yourself like you don't deserve help. You don't deserve people to like you. And so instead of looking for that, you tend to do things that make you even more miserable. And when you do those things that make you more miserable, what you really want is you just want someone to feel bad for you. And let me tell you, oh my gosh, here, a little personal story. I lived that way for a very long time, probably like from like age 16 to like 23, like age 16 to 23. I lived that life, and it took a very long time for me to wake up and realize that, oh my gosh, I am being awful. I'm being a horrible person right now, and not in the way that I think I am. Let's see. You tend to almost make every good deed an excuse to hate yourself even more. It's not even a good deed. In fact, one of the main things about self-hatred is when you do something good, a lot of people feel like they have betrayed themselves. Like, no, what? I'm supposed to be this horrible person. What do you mean I did a good thing? A lot of people feel very like grossed out when they do an actual good deed. It's very strange to a lot of people for that. They're like, ugh, what? No, I'm supposed to be terrible. What? I did something nice for someone, huh? But yeah. I guess in that way you are right. Never mind. Sorry, you are right in what you said there. It kind of becomes like, oh, I just want to hate myself more. Because you tell yourself you don't do it because you're good, but because you're actually a really bad person is in disgust. Hang on, sorry, disguise. Because you tell yourself you don't do it because you're a good person, because you're actually a bad person in disguise. Yeah. I think I get what you're saying there. I don't know. You may have to clear that one up for me a bit. Let's see. I think one of the scariest outcomes of self-hatred is you think you're so horrible that you've already done so much bad that you can take any action after. That is no. Yes, that is. That's where we'll get into blood on the tracks here. in a little bit. There's two types of self-hatred here, actually. Two simultaneous self-hatred tracks. Self-hatred can lead to sabotage in many ways, many ways. But this is why it is like one of the major roots of evil in this world is self-hatred. Let's talk about Blood on the Tracks for a little bit. Blood on the Tracks. This is one of... I'm gonna be real. Even like the story, the premise is horrible. Essentially, the story of Blood on the Tracks is about a mother who one day, while out hiking in the mountains, a little boy pranks her son by tripping him, and he almost falls off a really high cliff on the mountain. And the mother sees this, and her reaction to the little boy pranking her son is to walk up to him and push him off the cliff. And that is the inciting incident of the entire story. And essentially, what we get to see is this mother lose her mind and become more and more obsessed with her son. I will be real with you. This story is borderline unreadable. Not because of the things that happen are like disgusting or gross. They are just so heart-wrenching, just tear your guts out. Like, what do I want to say? Just tear your guts out, like, awful. Like, you just get a pit in your stomach while reading it. You're just like, this is literally so awful. But what we end up having is a two simultaneous stories. The mother losing her mind and becoming more obsessed with her son, but her son becomes her little servant boy, and he also starts to lose it. So mom becomes more obsessed. She wants him to be protected at all times. She wants her to be his baby boy forever and ever and ever. And he obviously, he loves his mom, but he has to face the fact that his mom is a monster. He loves his mom, but here's the thing. This is the thing, right? Is his trauma. This is kind of rare for self-hatred. His trauma, which is his mom is a horrible person, is also the seed of self-hatred, because he covers up for his mom. He doesn't do anything to get his mother in trouble. He doesn't tell anyone. Keep in mind, he is a child. He is a child around, he's like 12. So he still loves his mom. And that is where his shame comes from, is he sees that his mother is very clearly trying to manipulate him. He even understands, yeah, she is trying to get into my head. But what's so interesting is you see him over and over again make the choice to go with whatever his mom wants. And like I said, he is a child, but the self-sabotage is horrible. The sabotage that his mother creates for him is also sabotage. I will tell you Probably one of the most gut-wrenching parts of the story. And it's nothing like brutal. There's nothing gory or like sexual in this manga, like at all. It is just all psychological. It is all just psychological torture. The mother discovers that her son has a girl that likes him and gave him a love letter. And she finds it and she tells him that you can't have a girlfriend because I don't want you to right now. Like you love me and you love me alone, right? And he's like, oh yes. And so what she does is she has him lay in bed with him and she makes him tear the love letter up like, and make her, and like she watches him, like she's like hugging him the entire time and he has to tear the letter up. And it is brutal. It is one of the most brutal things I've ever read in my entire life. I was like, oh my gosh. And this is what kind of where I'm leading towards is what Star was talking about. And like I said, there's two different types of self-hatred here. There's the self-hatred of I've already done a horrible thing. What's another horrible thing, right? But here is where the self-hatred really gets to people. This is when people start losing their brains. Like, I know the self-hatred is we're talking a lot about the self-hatred and stuff like that, but the real thing I've learned that starts to make you go really crazy, the thing that makes you start losing your grip on reality, is when you start looking for forgiveness. That is when you start losing it. That is when you start spiraling and you start getting bad, is when you start looking for forgiveness. And unfortunately, our little boy, our little male character in Blood on the Tracks, he looks for forgiveness in his mother. He looks for his mother to forgive him for what he has done, for his hatred of himself, for covering for his mother. He wants his mother to forgive him. And he learns far too late that his mom can't do that for him. His mom can't do that for him. And eventually, kind of around the middle point of the story, our main character he's in his mid-20s now. His mother is in jail now because her crime had gotten found out. She and her psychological manipulation of her son was found out. So there's some justice there. However, he was completely messed up. Like, I'm telling you, like when you, like, if I reading it, you're like, yeah, no, man, I totally get, like, why you are like this. He works a job he hates. He kind of just, this is something, what this story really captures is a feeling I've always had. When I feel like I hate myself, when I really feel like I just can't stand myself, how I despise myself, I always call myself, one of the things that always goes through my head is, I am a corpse breathing. That is how I refer to myself sometimes in, like, when I'm really in, like, that really bad headspaces. I am a breathing corpse right now. You're just dead. you're just dead inside. And you don't really feel like anything's real. And it really captures that feeling. That's the midway point of the story, is him kind of in that state, and you kind of realize, but sorry, I got a little off track there. What I'm kind of bringing this all around to is you end up feeding into, self-hatred can lead you not only to do bad things because, you know, you're like, oh, well, I've already done the bad thing, might as well do more. The other thing that makes it so difficult is you look for relief, like Poon Poon. You look for relief, you look for someone to alleviate the hatred or something, and you end up getting manipulated in some way. And it, like I said, it becomes the cycle of you do more bad things, you do more things that make you hate yourself more and more and more and more, and you feel like you keep trying to do the right thing. You keep feeling like, I'm doing the right thing, why don't I feel better? And that's when you start to lose it, because you're like, am I never going to feel better? Am I never going to get better? Am I just stuck like this forever? Will I always hate myself? Am I always going to get hurt? Am I always going to hurt other people? And that's where we're gonna leave it for right now on this topic, because getting into the cycles, getting into becoming a scary person, becoming a self-loathing person, becoming manipulated by other people, becoming a person who craves relief from your own despair. I want to leave it here and turn it over to you guys, because we are going to next be talking about, you know, the healing process. The most important part of this talk is the healing process from this. And I'm going to tell you this right here, right now, you're not going to like it. It's not a feel-good thing, but medicine rarely has sugar in it. Let's see. I think another scary thing in self-hatred is that I've seen mentioned but never looked into. It leaks to how you see yourself as a person. Yep. Like how you mentioned earlier, sometimes you hate yourself so bad that you can't look at yourself in the mirror. It's true though. Have you ever hated someone? Have you ever hated someone so much that everything they did is disgusting? Like someone just really got your goat one day, right? Someone really made you mad one day, and all you could do for like most of the day is just seethe at them. You know, maybe there's a girl who made fun of you, and you look at her and you're like, "Duh, her hair is ugly. Oh, she brought that bag to school. Oh my gosh, that's how she holds a pencil. Oh my gosh." And you turn to your friend, "Can you believe this person? Can you believe that person? Oh my gosh." And they're like, "I know, right?" And you're like, "Yeah, right, that person? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, they wore their makeup like that? I cannot believe that." You know? Like, they're just normal. You know, they don't actually look horrible. It's just you have had so much hatred for them that now everything about them is disgusting. And that's the same thing that happens in self-hatred, is you just hate this person so much that they are the ugliest, smelliest, most disgusting thing that you've ever laid eyes on. Let's see. Bio, of course, he does understand he's not fully a baby. Self-defense and defending my age. Well, I understand, Mohem. However, I think a lot of children don't realize how dependent they are on their parents, how much a lot of what their parents do on a day-to-day basis affects them. Because like when you're a kid, you don't realize it. I'm not a kid anymore, and when you're an adult, you have the unfortunate ability to look back on the day-to-day life of your house and you realize, oh, that's why I'm messed up. Not saying that, you know, you're messed up or anything, but I'm just saying I think a lot of kids don't really understand how much the people around them are affecting them on a day-to-day basis, even the little things that maybe someone does every day. I'll give you an example. Papa Angel, every day when he came home from work, he wanted a hug. He wanted all of his children to run downstairs and hug him when he came through the door. And if you didn't do that, he would go ballistic. If you did not come downstairs to hug him, he would stomp up. Like, I remember Chero, he was kind of in his rebellious phase, and I remember my dad would stomp upstairs to his room. He'd kick open his door and be like, "Why didn't you come downstairs? You're gonna hug me, you ungrateful brat." And Chero had to hug him, or he would just keep screaming at him. And sorry, I didn't mean to trauma it up there, but I do have an example for this. And for me, that is why being genuine is so important to me. Why finding someone who really does love you, who really does care about you, is something that is extremely important to me. Like, if I hint a little bit of inauthenticness, I get very nervous around people like that. And it's because of kind of like that from my dad. My dad demanded love. He demanded you love him. And if you don't, oh, well, by God, you're gonna pay for it. And I really, for me, it's so, like, it's just such a big deal to be genuine, to not force things on other people, to, you know, to let people be who they want to be is such a big value for me. And I would not have had that value if it weren't for my dad. And when I was a little kid, I didn't realize that was weird or that was a bad thing. I just thought, like, oh, why didn't you hug Dad? Why didn't you just hug Dad, Chero? Come on, man. Like, come on, dude. Why didn't you just... And I didn't realize. Looking back on it now, I'm like, oh yeah, that's like traumatizing. Yeah, that'll mess you up. And so you don't really realize how weird your family is until you meet, you know, other people. Let's see. Because when you hate someone else, at least you can know deep down they don't have to be with you 24/7. When you hate yourself, yep, you're stuck in the skin that you hate, and you can't run away from yourself. Well, you can run away from yourself, trust me, you can, but it is not pleasant. It is not a good thing to do. See, I'm glad you mentioned because I've also heard a lot of oh, you know, when your parents came home, I would run to them. Wait, sorry. You know, when our parents came home, I would run to them. I see. Me, I was afraid. I would go and hug my dad, and I'd immediately try and, like, run off. I didn't want to deal with Papa Angel. I heard that saying a lot is I heard that saying a lot. Oh, I see. You know, when our parents came home, I would run to them. Yeah, it's so, I don't know. I don't know. I think, I don't know. My family has its own issues with being very surface level. But that's kind of, I hope that wasn't too crazy of a tangent to talk about. But just keep in mind that you don't realize how dependent, when you're young, you don't realize how dependent and how much your parents are affecting you right now. It's okay. It's okay not to know right now. But just know there will probably come a day where you are sitting around another family's dinner table and you are going to realize, oh, my family is really weird. But okay. Let's head on to the most important part is, how do we fix this? So let's say we find ourselves in a cycle of self-hatred. How do we deal with this? How do we fix it? Well, the first thing, here, I'll read this one last comment, then I'll get into it. I love how you say you hate the flesh you're in. It's the best way to describe it. Well, that's how I feel when I get into that. When I get into that state, that's just how I feel. It's like, I'm just in this lumpy sack of flesh that I can't stand, you know. But how do we fix this? Because, like, as we can see from these three stories, No Longer Human, Goodnight Poon Poon, Blood on the Tracks, these are things that follow people from when they are children to when they are adults. All of these stories start off with our main characters being kids and growing up to be broken in some way, in different ways, of course. But they all lead to be broken. So it is good to stop the cycle as quickly as you possibly can, because as we see, the cycle of self-hatred builds on itself. And here's the thing, I have the remedy for self-hatred. I have the remedy for self-hatred, and let me tell you, it is a long and painful process, and I'm still working on it today. And so I hope those of you who are younger, who are listening to this, really, really take this into consideration. Because I'm going to tell you something, it's not a fun answer. It's not a hopeful answer. How do we fix this? How do we fix the self-hatred? How do we find forgiveness for the bad things we do? Here's the real answer. Here's the real answer. I want to preference this. This is not to make you feel bad. This is not to make you feel good. This is just the truth. All right. What do we do to forgive ourselves for the bad things we have done? There is nothing you can do. There is nothing that you can possibly do to make up for the bad things you have done. Now, I understand that's like, huh? That's a scary thought. That is a scary, scary thought. There's nothing I can do. And the answer is no. If you do something bad, you have done it. You have done something bad. You can't undo it. You can't rewind time. You punched someone in the face, you can't unpunch them in the face. You ripped a hole in a shirt, you can't mend the stitches. So what do we do? Okay, so what? I'm just screwed forever if I don't do anything. So I should just do nothing, you know? I can't do anything. And the hard answer is yes. There is nothing you can do. But here's the thing. You can't make a torn shirt the same as it was. That is why we call it, when we are looking for forgiveness, when we are looking for our coming to an understanding, what do we call it? We call it patching up. The hole will always be there, but we can put a patch over it. We can make we can make the hole not a hole. We can make it better, but we can't undo it. So always keep that in mind. You can't undo it, but you can patch it up. And how do we do it? Well, some people will tell you, you got to do X. You got to do things, you know, maybe go and help people. Maybe go and, maybe go and like talk to the person. That's good. That's a good start. But here is where things are kind of tough. Let's go back to Blood on the Tracks, right? When you seek forgiveness, what did I say? That's when you go crazy. That's when you start going crazy and you start losing your mind. Is, how do I fix this? How do I make things better? What do I do? I gotta do something. And then you try and do something good and it just doesn't help. You don't feel good after you've done it because you still hate yourself. And why do you hate yourself? Because, you know, deep down, no matter what you do, you did the thing. You did it. There's no not doing it because you did it. So what do? I'm a Christian, and I think this is a universal thing that I think a lot of people need to learn. And I'm not saying this is a Christian-only practice, but I think this is the best way I can explain it. In Christianity, we have a thing called repentance. Now, I'm Greek Orthodox. We have a thing called repentance. Now, what is repentance? If you see a lot of Protestants and a lot of people talk about repentance, it kind of looks like you're just saying, I'm sorry. Lord, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There was a very pretty lady and I done looked at her. I done looked at her and I thought, wow, that's a pretty lady. I'm sorry. That's not repentance. What repentance is, it's very simple, actually. It's a very simple thing. It is stop doing the bad thing. Don't just say, I'm sorry for looking at the pretty lady. It's next time you see a pretty lady, you know, just don't look at her. That is ultimately how you forgive yourself, and is a long, painful, annoying process. It's almost like exercise in a way. You just stop doing the bad thing. And I know that doesn't feel good, does it? It almost, if you're someone who does hate themselves, it almost feels like you're getting away with it. It can feel like you're getting away for all the bad actions. And that's what makes you go crazy. That's the end result of going crazy, is you look for punishment. If I can't be forgiven, I will just punish myself. I need to be punished. And for the forgiveness punishment balance in self-hatred is a constant flip-flopping. There is a lot of times where there's just a lot of times where you flip-flop of, oh, I did this bad thing, I need to be punished for it. Well, no, I need to find forgiveness for it. I need to do something to make it up. And you can't do that. Here's the truth. You will forgive yourself in time. You can even forget about the bad things you've done. But you gotta stop doing it. Because that's the main thing, is self-hatred is a cycle. You go through it over and over and over again, and you do bad things over and over and over again, and a lot of times you just end up doing the same bad thing because that's what you know. Humans are habit creatures. Humans like having a bunch of habits. So you end up doing the same bad thing over and over and over again, and you can't forgive yourself because you keep doing it. But if you stop doing it, if you catch it, we talked about this before in our addiction, is you need to recognize when the feeling is happening. That is one of the most important things in therapy and psychology and in mental health in general. Recognize what you're feeling. Take a step back and realize, I'm feeling something right now. Why do I feel this way? And once you catch it, all you have to do is not let it win. Don't do the bad thing. I've had days where I don't want to do the bad thing, where I get in my self-hatred cycle. The best thing I end up doing is I go and I take a nap because I get so worn out. I get so tired of feeling terrible that I just don't want to exist anymore. And when I say that, I mean I want to just be numb. And so going to sleep helps me with that. It gives me it gives me the peace that I'm looking for. And when I get that and I wake up, you want to know what I realize? Oh, hey, I didn't do the thing. I didn't do the bad thing that I hate myself for. And the longer you go without refreshing that wound, the more you keep going of not doing the bad thing over and over again, reminding yourself of your bad things that you keep doing. Instead, you find a way to stop doing them. You will forgive yourself. The pain will stop, and then you can look back at what you did and you can judge correctly. There are tons of times in my life where I thought I was a horrible, awful person, and then I looked back on it and I realized, dude, you didn't know what you were doing. You aren't to blame there. Yeah, sure, maybe you had your part to play, but you really aren't that bad. And then there are also times where, this one's the hardest part, Yeah, this is the hardest part of healing, is when you look back and you realize, oh, I did do something bad. I did something really bad. Oh my gosh. But now you have the ability to let it go. You know, a lot of people, when they talk about, if you ever heard the term, you know, get over it, just get over it already. That's a lot of what people are saying, is just stop thinking about it. You know, just stop getting all bent out of shape about nothing. And the thing is we should not deny the experiences that people have. And you can feel real physical pain from memories. But what you can't be doing is letting yourself get stuck in the past. The past is real. The past happens, you know, but you can't let the bad thing you did before get in the way of you marching forward. And that's the thing. It's not about doing good things. It's not about seeking forgiveness. It's not about working towards bettering yourself. It is about stopping. It is about stopping and just not doing the bad thing. Even if you're not doing anything, and that's why it feels so weird to people to hear that. It's like there's almost no, you know, positive side to it, is there? It's either bad or nothing. And that's why it doesn't feel very good. And that's why it's scary to pursue, is because you are totally just, like I say, you feel like you're getting away with it. You feel like, oh, but I deserve to be punished. But at the same time, it's also, you can feel kind of numb when it's happening. You can feel very numb and very unproductive when you're in that state of stop. And that's what makes it so tough. That's what makes it so difficult and so hard to continue. So, and unfortunately, that's kind of what I got. Like I said, there's no amount of good deeds you can do. Not saying don't do good deeds. Doing good deeds is, you know, everything. Everyone should do a good deed. Everyone should always work to be productive and to help themselves. But it just doesn't feel right, does it? To just be like, oh, I just have to stop doing the bad thing, and then I'm good? And the answer is yeah. Yeah, there's no dragon to fight here. There is no dragon to fight. There's no one to fight, in fact, because punching yourself in the face is a form of self-hatred. There's no ghost. There's no monster. There's no dragon. There's no treasure to have. There's just being normal. And that's why self-hatred is such a hard thing to talk about, because there's nothing pretty about it. There's nothing pretty about it, like, at all. There's no healing. If you think you are healing, if you think you are like, oh, I'm such a good person now. Oh, I'm a good person. I'm a better person. Oh, I've done so much good. something tells me your cycle is just in a weird place right now. So I wish I could tell you that there's redemption. And I guess there is a positive. There is redemption. But you have to understand that there are some things that'll happen in your past that you can't patch over. There are things you can patch over. There is redemption. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, but it is a very unsexy march to get there. There's a very unattractive march to end up where you want to be. It is, like I said, I wish there was something more to it, but there really isn't. Self-hatred is an ugly, ugly thing, and the treatment to getting better is ugly. But I hope this helped. I hope this is something that really I hope this is something that impacts a lot of people, because self-hatred is such an issue. It's such a problem. And I want to be there to help people, but self-hatred is one of those things I don't want to say you can't help someone with it, but it's really hard to. And when you do and try and help someone with self-hatred, it almost feels like just leaving them to wallow in their misery a lot of times is the right thing to do. So I would say it's a self journey. Everything's a journey for yourself. But I want you to know, I care. I tell you these things because I care. Don't beat yourself up too bad. Just stop doing the thing. I don't know. Is there anything else? I don't think so. I think I got everything. I think I'm all good. All right, everyone. I'll turn it back over to you. I hope you took something away from tonight. I'll read your final comments, and we will end the stream. Thank you guys for being here, by the way. This is a bit of a longer one. There's a lot of a sadder one, too. Let's see. It's morning. Oh, okay. All right. Bye, Sarah. Bye, Moham. Thank you for being here. Let's see. You don't undo the first act. You just don't do it again. Exactly, Star. That is completely right. Let's see. You're right. The process can be long and hard, and most times it's really hard because you're so used to it, and maybe you do get it. Yeah, you do end up doing it again, but that's a problem. Yeah, that's the problem. You gotta quit doing it. I think sometimes during that process you worry so much that you'll mess up again. It drives you nuts. That is a good point. That you get anxiety of, am I ready for this? And the truth of the matter is, with something like this, it doesn't matter if you're not ready. The more you try to stop, the better at stopping you become. Let's see. So even if you're like, I'm really not feeling it, or I don't think it's the right time, never wait for the right time to stop hating yourself. Never wait for the right time. Never wait for
a sign, never wait for a good opportunity. Just do your best to not do it. Even if you end up doing the thing again, do your best to stop as fast as possible. Let's see. You can't undo it. It is you can't undo it, which is the harsh truth. But after you accept that, you realize that even if you can't undo it, the very least you can do better. Yeah, you can do better. You can be a I don't want to even say better. You can just be a normal person. You can stop the internal fight. All right, everyone. Let's hit up the conclusion to this. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys like the literary also, don't read any of these books. They're all extremely bleak and depressing and heartbreaking. Don't read any of these. But if you do want to read one of these, highly recommend No Longer Human. No Longer Human, literally one of the greatest books ever written. My only recommendation. Literally one of the greatest books of all time ever written, ever. But yeah, like I said, I hope this was helpful. I hope this helped a lot of people kind of see the light. I hope you guys really took something away from this. Let's see. Thank you to Sarah. We appreciate you talking about this. Self-hatred is a very dark topic, mainly because there isn't really a happy ending, just the ending exactly. But I'm happy you still decide to shine a light on it. It's just something that's really been on my mind lately. I don't know. I need to talk about anger because I've been very angry lately and I need to process it. So maybe we'll talk about anger next time. But no, like I said, this is genuinely, self-hatred is just something that truly fascinates me. We may talk about it again in the future. Hopefully not in the near future. I think we can only handle so much. But no, yeah, this was a very dark one, I feel. But like I said, I just find this topic so fascinating, and I think I find it so fascinating because it is something we really need to help people with. People desperately need help because, like I said, look how many bad things we went down, you know. You become an abuser, you become an enabler, or you become a victim, or you become a victim of yourself. There's so many bad routes this can go. And you know, the worst thing, the best part of, sorry, not the best part, but the goodest ending you can have when you hate yourself, the best ending you can have is you don't hurt anyone else. You know, you left everyone else alone at least. That's the best thing you can say. This was very helpful. I hope you know that, so thank you. Okay, well, good. That makes, I don't know, that always makes these talks so worth it. It always makes these topics so just worth talking about. It like I said, I want to expand on these. I don't know. I wish we need to do more mental health stuff, but I think this is one of the best mental health kinds of streams I do right now. We need to broaden it out a little bit, but definitely everyone tells me they love these. Everyone tells me they're super great and super helpful. So I thank you guys for being here. You're doing a great thing. Well, thank you. I sure hope so. But okay, everyone. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'm excited. Tomorrow is going to be way more happy. We're going to have such a fun time. You guys are going to listen to me do karaoke. I'm going to be singing for you all. I'm very excited for that. I want to see all the fun emotes and crazy stuff in chat. So, thank you guys. We will have so much fun tomorrow. I'm gonna be singing. I'm gonna be acting like a goofball. But all right, everybody. Maybe we'll keep redeems on just so you guys can try and mess me up during during my singing. That'd be funny. But all right, everyone. Very excited for karaoke. I am too. But all right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Ooh, actually, I have a brand new thing that I'm going to show you guys tomorrow, and some of you are going to love it, and some of you are going to hate it. It involves lupus. But all right, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this helped you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. But okay, everyone. Let's see. Is there anyone? I don't really think I should rate anyone tonight. But all right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye bye, everybody. Bye bye. Bye bye.